You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Days of Our Lives fans. It is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I have some brand new spoilers that I'm really excited about. And these all indicate that Stefan DiMera is about to play really dirty to save his wife, Gabi Hernandez, or actually, I guess I should say his recast wife, because it definitely looks like we might be getting her back with a new face based on the spoilers and plot lines. First, I want to tell you about the spoilers, and then I'm going to tell you what the spoilers have me triggered about and what absolutely I think is coming for both Stefan and Gabi and others in the storyline. Hey, if you haven't, please reach down and click subscribe so you don't miss any of our day's updates. Now, let's first look at the spoilers. So we've got some big stuff happening on Wednesday, November 22nd. Stefan is making some demands of EJ. Of course, EJ is the new district attorney in Salem, and that is Stefan and Gabi's fault because they ousted him at DiMera Enterprises with their shady stock scheme. And now, because he was at loose ends, he took the DA job. Coincidentally, right as Gabi is being accused of murder, I have no doubt that Lee and Dr. Rolfe schemed that up. I don't think Lee's dead. Not with Rolfe in town. So at any rate, EJ is planning to prosecute Gabi very aggressively, throw the book at her, all that good stuff. And I'm wondering if Stefan is going to demand that he drop the charges, or at least demand that he get her into protective custody at Statesville. That should be pretty interesting. That same day, Stefan heads over to Statesville, and no, he's not there to see Gabi. Not that the spoilers say anyway. He's there to talk to Clyde Weston. Of course, Clyde is an old enemy of EJ's. He had one of his flunkies shoot EJ back in the day, and then EJ shot Clyde not that long ago, and he and Chad were going to stand there over him and watch him bleed to death. Too bad the cops showed up and called 911. So clearly, I think this is twofold. I think it's about Clyde being EJ's enemy, but I also think it's about Clyde and his position there at Statesville. And then a spoiler for Friday, the 24th, the day after Thanksgiving. The spoiler says Ava Vitali gets a surprising new partner. So we're going to add all those spoilers up and come out with this. These spoilers definitely have me even more certain that a Gabi recast is coming, because all of Stefan's scheming seems to be about protecting and saving Gabi while clearing her name. So I suspect that Stefan goes to see Clyde about making sure that Gabi is safe while she's behind bars in Statesville. Do you remember recently, it was like last week, I think day before her last day, probably on Days, Camila Banus did a very good job playing a very scared Gabi who was absolutely terrified to go back to Statesville because what happened to her during her last term there, where she was falsely imprisoned once again for a crime she didn't commit. Do you remember why she was in prison and what happened to her? So she's actually been in prison a few times. The big ones were when she was in prison for killing Nick Fallon. That was back in 2014, and I think she got 10 or 20 years, a long time, and she got out. And then she went to prison for killing Andre DiMera. Abigail actually did it, and then she lied. That was back when Abigail had that weird alter named Gabi, Gabby, not Gabi, Gabi. That was in 2018 when she went to prison, and she was beaten in prison by a gang of women so severely that her life was hanging on the line, and that's why she is now infertile and can't ever carry a child. So, of course, she's scared. And now, once again, Gabi is in prison for a crime she didn't commit. She is absolutely right to be terrified, and Stefan knows this. So Stefan has got a couple of problems. The first problem is that he really wants to solve the crime, but in the meantime, his other issue is keeping her safe. So I suspect that's why Stefan goes to Statesville to see Clyde, and I think he is going to ask him to provide protection and is going to tell him money is no object, name your price. I don't necessarily think Clyde wants to lay a dollar amount on this. I think Clyde is going to have something else that he wants. Remember, Clyde wanted E.J. DiMera running his drug operation, and that's why he had kidnapped Susan Banks from her kidnapper, and he was going to use her as leverage, but Ava messed that up. And so now he's got Ava running his drug operation. And I believe that Clyde is going to tell Stefan, sure, I'll keep Gabi safe. You go keep my drug operation safe. You are Ava's new partner, which is a lot of fun because Ava dated his twin brother, Jake Lambert turned DiMera. So that might be a little weird for her, but I mean, it's not like she doesn't know him and hasn't seen him around and hasn't made the adjustment to this new face of his. So, well, I guess old face, new name. So it's very weird, but I think that is going to be the fallout, and that is the new partner that was revealed in the spoilers. So basically, at this point, Stefan DiMera is breaking laws to protect Gabi. I remain confident, though, that Li Shen is not dead. I believe that Rolf revived him, threw him onto the submarine, and is going to drop him off somewhere tropical where there's no extradition. It's all going to eventually come out, and Gabi will get to come home. But in the meantime, Stefan is writing these big checks that he's going to have to cash, and he's getting involved with a notorious, violent, insane drug runner. Clyde Weston is not somebody you want to mess with. So what's funny is Clyde is okay with Ava dating a cop because she's dating Harris, and Stefan's brother is the DA, which I don't think Clyde's going to mind either, because maybe he thinks with somebody with a person in law enforcement in their bed and a person who's prosecuting criminal cases in the house, maybe that will help Clyde stay ahead of law enforcement, the DEA, the cops, anybody that's coming for him. The problem's going to be once Gabi is free, which I feel like at this point might be February sweeps, because we're right in the height of November sweeps. Those are almost over. And then they usually just do family-centric stuff towards the end of the year. And then February is always big. So I kind of feel like if we're getting a Gabi recast, it is coming for February sweeps. Just calling it. That's a long-term prediction. But once she's free, will Stefan be stuck living as a criminal while also trying to run DiMera and juggle his angry older brother EJ, who is the district attorney? Clearly, Stefan is going all out for her, but you know, she might be free only to see him in trouble. So I feel like even when she's back out of Statesville, probably back with a new face, that their troubles are far from over, which I hate because I generally like them. I don't like this blackmailing, constantly money grubbing thing they're doing, or they were doing right before all this drama blew up. All right, drop your comments below. Do you think that Stefan is about to get into the drug business and play super dirty to make sure that Gabi stays safe? Click subscribe if you haven't already. Drop your comments, click a like if you enjoyed this, and come back every day because we're here talking Days of Our Lives 7 days a week. This has been Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.